what we try to change the table and understand what is the regulator is all concerned about. And I think so you also highlighted pretty much in your news article, and I really want to thank you for that to bring that out, and then we can discuss on that. So first point that regulator is concerned is about mis-selling of algo products. And second broader point that regulator is worried about the systematic risk of algo trading. So if I wanted to put this to major bucket, and if we answer this to very categorically clearly, I think so every other things will fall in the place. So just to put a point of mis-selling of algo products, let's understand from an ecosystem of who are there in this complete algo trading or in API system. There is an independent trader like us. Okay, that's one trader, retail client us. Okay, then there are strategy providers who are actually having a profitable strategies and want to give everyone a benefit to part of that strategy. It is same as PMS, portfolio management service, or a mutual fund, where a fund manager has certain kind of IP, and he's actually making money for himself and want to benefit other parties as well. Then third, there are independent strategy provider platform. We talked about them, and a few of us are already here on this call as well. So obviously we'll get to hear from their side of the story. And the brokers. Okay. So these are the kind of four major parties when it comes to the API world. Okay. So systematic risk of algo trading. Okay. We are going to tackle that with an answer as well. So let me just go to the most important point. The strategy providers. Okay. Like who are providing the strategies. And there is a kind of plethora of people who just started coming out saying that, okay, you can make risk-free returns and promises the skies to the world. But what we are proposing and saying that, okay, there is already a regulatory framework of a research analyst. Once that is in place and all the API provider has to be registered as a research analyst, I think so a lot of mis-selling will stop immediately. It's like, all the provider before the research analyst or RI came into the picture, everybody was giving tips and recommendation. But once RA is there, client is coming and asking that, are you an RA, SEBI registered RA or RI? Then only we will take your services from you. So the first point itself, once we get into an umbrella of a regulatory, no mis-selling happen. And even if it's mis-selling is happen, client can go to SEBI and NSE and complain about, these guys promised us this and this is not there. So that's one part of the equation we are trying to solve. That, okay, all this API providers or a research strategy provider has to become a research analyst. Second point that SEBI on his platform also mentioned on the consultation paper, mentioned about point number 6.6. The stockbrokers can either provide an in-house algo strategist developed by an approved vendor or outsource these services from a third-party algo vendor by coming into a formal agreement. Now, once this is done, okay, the lot of mis-selling will stop. Why? Because broker themselves will not allow their name to be at stake. So a third-party vendor can become an in-house platform. Okay, they can sign an agreement, formal agreement with the broker and a third-party platform. And I would want to hear from the third-party vendors who are there on the call as well. What are their viewers as well? I'm just talking from a retail client and a bit of service provider. Okay. Where once they come into the platform, there is a lot of rampant mis-selling will stop, because this third-party strategy platform provider will only onboard who are research analysts. Okay, there are no any unauthorized person cannot be on that platform. It is only people who are research analysts can be on that platform, and broker will make sure that there is no kind of flamboyant returns guaranteed to the people. Depending, like 100%, 500% or whatever, but maybe if the strategy is making money, that's a different story. But at least that mis-selling can be curtailed to a certain extent. I can go on talking about mis-selling can still happen in ULIP and other ones, but that's not the point of the contention. Third, the brokers are never into mis-selling of the products, but they they were trying to say, okay, there is a technology that I'm going to give you and which will help you. So stockbroker will be responsible for assessing the suitability of an investor prior to the offering algo facility. And in US and in every other market which are emerged and developed market, there is something called as a qualified institutional investor, QII or something like that. So somewhere, even for if I'm doing an FNO trading, broker is asking me for my 6 months bank statement and a 3-year IT return. So that means I'm at least capable enough to understand that what are the risk involved, and at least there is small diligence, like 1 lakh rupiya dal ke agar if I'm going to put everything on one strategy, there is a high risk that I may not be able to make money. And the fourth, and which Umesh Ranglani who really kind of pointed out all the time, and I really appreciate his point, is we are trying to save who? We are trying to save retail clients, but all the responsibilities were put it on the party provider, talking about the mis-selling. But there are retail clients who really wants to be part of this growing community, and which is the fact of the world. They can actually sign an addendum, and broker can only accept those clients or provide an API to them who signs an addendum. Like if I remember that if I'm going to for a mutual fund, I can see, PMS, right? So they actually make me sign some document saying that this is my fixed cost, this is my variable cost, this is the risk involved. Everything has been put it out over here. So these are the main 4 points, and it is very simple. Nothing changes much. Like we are not going to make a groundbreaking changes to the existing infrastructure. We are just going to tweak a bit to make it more compliant and the economy can grow. The second point, and then I'll stop and open up for the questions. After that consultation paper and till date, we had numerous Twitter spaces, Zoom calls and everything. And many things that came in between were talking about the systematic risk of algo trading. Like what if retail, what if retail builds a wrong algo and fires the wrong algo, he can actually lose his capital. So, Suchita madam, there is actually a facility, and this is what we are saying, that if we get already this, the APIs and RMS and OMS, like risk management system and order management systems, are already approved by the exchange, which goes through all the fat finger checks, limit checks. Client के पास कितना पैसा है उतना ही वो order मार सकता है. They have something called as throttle limit. मतलब मैं 1 सेकेंड में 5 ऑर्डर से ज्यादा नहीं बेच सकता हूं. That's one thing. But if we understand that there are like bracket orders, so what broker will do in turn is we will provide, they will take an approval of the execution algo. Okay, when I say execution algo, matlab just to put it in a layman term, कि मेरी एक स्ट्रेटेजी है, और स्ट्रेटेजी में बाय सेल सिग्नल्स आ रहे हैं. वो बाय सेल सिग्नल इज नॉट द रिस्क टू द एंटायर स्टॉक एक्सचेंज. अगर मेरी मूविंग एवरेज क्रॉसओवर के बाद सिग्नल आया, एंड व्हेन आई एम फायरिंग एन ऑर्डर एंड व्हिच इज हिटिंग द एक्सचेंज, in what way it is hitting the exchange, that creates the systematic risk. मतलब अगर मेरे को सिग्नल आया तो मैं 1,00,000 शेयर भी मार सकता हूं, 10 शेयर भी मार सकता हूं, 50 शेयर भी मार सकता हूं, लेकिन how am I hitting the stock exchange? That is the most worrisome problem when it comes from the exchange. Now what we have kind of discussed, and a lot of as you mentioned, the techies and everything, and we spoke to a lot of brokers as well, and all of them were more or less in line with this, that the broker gets an execution algo. जैसे कि हम लोग का एक ब्रैकेट ऑर्डर करके एक ऑर्डर टाइप होता है, या कवर ऑर्डर टाइप का ऑर्डर होता है, which is already approved by the exchange, where the strategy logic is not revealed. We are just kind of calling and login ID or a algo ID and putting into that. With this one small nuance is that a broker can take an approval of the execution algo, not the strategy algo. We straight away knock off 6.1, 6.3, 6.4, 6.5, 6.6 points, which is worried to the regulator in just one small, kind of approval mechanism. And they are already doing it. Brokers are already taking an approval for a bracket order and cover order. So with just small tweaking, we can get the execution algo approved. And then strategy can be anything. So that also gives us as a strategy provider or a retail client a benefit. Okay, we are not revealing our hard-earned secret on which we are making money to any of the third party. Not we are disclosing it to the broker, not we are disclosing to the exchange, because there is something, nothing offense, but not all brokers are good and not all brokers are bad. But brokers can go against our trades, they can go against us, and not only brokers. What about exchange? There can be a leak from the exchange as well. When I was with, I was on a Twitter space, and one important point Nitin Kamath, kind of put it out, which I could not find on the paper, but he did mention about it. So I thought we will answer that also. What if the algo becomes so big that the algo, like it is becoming very profitable and a lot of people are making money and everybody starts subscribing to that algo? And we have 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 people only subscribing to that algo. What if that algo misfires, or, in the lack of a better word, what if there is a trade, not even misfires? What if there was a genuine trade from that algo and order goes to the exchange of a 50,000 people? What will it create in the market? Now, this, what we were talking about is 1987 flash crash. And from 1987 flash crash, we have come down to 2021, where a lot of checks and balances have been already been done by the exchange, by the broker, and all that has been done. But a small change in the way the API we consume, it cannot bring this flash crash at all. What we are saying is that recently, when there was a problem in the options market, an exchange came and said, okay, we are stopping the stop loss market order for all the options. Okay, they stopped the market order. So if I wanted to make it very in a simplistic manner, market orders are basically just desperate orders to get out of the market. So when in flash crash, what happened is one order got triggered, the second got triggered at whatever the price is available. They did not look at what is the next price. They just said that we just want to get out. They hit it, that went to another order, that hit it, and the flash crash happened. But in current existing algo framework, which is not the retail API framework, in the algo framework itself, there is a provision where you cannot hit the market order. You have to hit higher limit order. मतलब अगर 100 रुपया चल रहा है तो maximum that you can hit is 110 rupees. You cannot hit more than, like any price, 100 rupees ka, you cannot hit 500, 600, 800 rupees. You have to hit only 110. Now, even if those 50,000 orders are being fired, they will stop at 110. It will not create a crash in the market. And the last point that maybe I went into a hurry, but we can always debate about the points or anything, is already this API route was there for 2.5 years. We never had any systematic risk because the APIs, the risk management systems and the order management systems are already in place to handle this kind of scenarios. Like there are brokers on the call as well. So maybe we can take their views as well. So from this, I just wanted to put two major points. Just mis-selling of algos, just 4 points. And execution risk has already been taken care of. We just need to make small tweaks to it. And then we are a completely legal and, free entity to work on.
Okay, so Vishal, if I understand right, one part of what you said is that you want the regulations. So basically, let's go right to the beginning. You are in favor of these regulations. You think it's a good idea, right?
110%. Yes, sorry, yeah. I cut you in between. Go ahead.
No, it's correct. So second point is that you think that some of these can be compressed into those 6 points that you mentioned. They can be compressed into one single thing. So it can be tweaked to make it a little more efficient and simpler, right? Yes. And the third point, which is what I noticed, whether it's a BS edit or, you refer to what Nitin Kamath had said, but one of the points is whether, all API, I think that was the Harmik's point also with SEBI, that just about everybody who takes an API usually takes it to do algo trading. Okay. And that's what SEBI has gone with. That is the logic that they have followed in their regulation. I think Nitin Kamath and others seem to say, and Business Standards Edit today is arguing that that's not the case. So that is something whether you and the others in the group would like to discuss. That is one point. Another point that I wanted to ask you a question on, which you have raised, is that yes, we have had no big problems with retail algos, but that could also be because it was relatively new. People were still trying. Those who have got into it so far were sort of techies and who understood. But as it kept proliferating, there would be others, complete novices, who would come in. And I know complete novices are saying we do derivatives trading based on algos. They know nothing about the market, right? So that is the danger for which SEBI is preparing by having rules. Even there, I think the big discussion for which we also were going to have a meeting was people not able to understand the gap between these large institutional algo traders who are sitting with servers in the exchange, who get much more granular data, and retail algos. So one of the things that I noticed, which is not in the regulation, that none of you are talking about, is that there are two unequal universes, even among algo traders, with the institutional algos paying more but being on a completely different space. Is that something that any of you all feel that has to be addressed by SEBI at all over here in these new rules?
So my name is Vivek Gadodia. I'm co-founder of a couple of startups in the algo space.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been involved in this from 2008, when the institutional algo trading policy was launched in India. We used to do about 3% of BSE cash turnover through algos back then. And I used to handle the risk. And I kind of set that up in India. So if we see that, it's a very, very welcome move, first of all, that, thanks for taking the initiative to kind of bring this forth, because it's been happening since many years. But it's only now that, I think because what you raised along with Dharmik, I mean, that has triggered this to come out. And finally, I think hopefully we will lead somewhere. And I'm an optimist in that way. So just to add to a couple of things to what Vishal said and what you've been trying to ask as well, and I'll try to answer whatever I can. The world over, so, there are countries doing significantly more algo volume than what we are doing. And the last few years, we have, as a kind of exchange or country, in terms of liquidity, benefited tremendously from algos, right? So there's tremendous offshoot, and there's a lot of data to prove that. On the part of, the risk management of the failure, it could very well be a human being on the other side who's got like bipolar disorder or something, and who just kind of punches in anything crazy, right? I mean, so all the algos are only as good as the human beings sitting behind who are designing them. And that is why I think the only merit to regulate, if anything, on monitor is the risk management layer, which Vishal is saying, is where if I'm punching in an order of X value, I mean, when I used to handle that desk of algo trading, my only job was to see what is the risk the trader is carrying overnight. And if something goes wrong, how to intervene sort of and manage the risk. So that is the major job. And API algos from retail, like on the institutional and retail side, there is first time actually in years that there is so much literature. I agree there is mis-selling happening, because probably people think it's very easy to just come on and start with options. Basically, it's the options market, which people find most easy to get in. It's like buying lotteries for them, actually. And, in lotteries, like 99+ % people will lose money generally. But it's very easy, because futures is now a game with only HNI, ultra HNI, you can, or certain capital you need. Options can be done even with 50,000 rupees. So that is where a lot of mis-selling is happening. And in fact, but that can be done even in non-algo, right? There is a guy I know who's a young guy in 20s. He's just started a Telegram group where all he does is just give, an option to sell put. Selling a put means you're basically bullish. You're selling like life insurance, saying that market will not crash. And the last 1.5 years, market has gone up. And now people started actually paying for that subscription. It's no negative intention. Maybe the guy just doesn't even really know what a market crash or a fall is, right? And this is going to happen, I think, whether algo, non-algo, this kind of thing has been happening only with efforts like what y'all are doing. I think hopefully it gets little bridged. I think just to conclude before there's any counter discussion or question. In order to manage every single order that is coming through an algo, in the institutional framework, there is a last digit, which is also in the consultation paper, that the last digit can either be a 0 or a 1. One suggests it's an algo order. Same thing can be done for the API. And every API trader, algo trader, should just kind of get a unique identifier for that algo. And when I finally pass an order as like my own account in Vivek Garudia Zerodha account, I should probably pass a structure where I have a broker ID, like every broker has an ID, plus the algo ID, right? So broker ID can be a 5-6 digit. Algo ID is, let us say, another 7-8 digit hexadecimal or alphanumeric number, plus the order number, which is a 16 digit number, with the last digit being a 1. So it's kind of a comprehensive number, and I can share that later with Dharmik, and there's a presentation I made on that. We take inputs from the other brokers and update that. And maybe then the exchange knows every single order that this is an API order. If we deny this, right, or we kind of say that every algo needs approval, or it has to be hosted on the broker's end, I think the retail who's been getting the chance to equal an institution, if they get a level playing field we've been talking about, they will go back. That's what my opinion is.
Actually, Vivek, I think you're a little at a tangent from what I've been saying, because, I think approval is something everyone's asking for, okay? Institutions are doing it. And you talked about institutional brokers. I think you know that we have written a whole book on what happened and how it was manipulated by brokers, right, in NSE. So it's not that it was great, it was all hunky-dory, everybody did well. It helped the exchange, no doubt. It made lots of money, but there have been issues and it's not been fixed. Now, we keep saying big institutional investors can take care of themselves. What about the retail guys if the algo is manipulated?
So I'll just amend that. I'm saying the execution layer should be approved, like what Vishal has been saying. And I'm saying if each of us has to give our strategy detail, me and Vishal and some of us can do it, but every individual, how will the bandwidth or the logistics of that work where everyone has to get an algo approved?
No, I don't think an individual has to get it. I don't think SEBI has also envisaged that every individual goes. It's the algo writers, and they have said they have to go through the broker. So no individual can go and get anything approved or needs to get anything approved if they're buying an algo or subscribing to an algo.
Sure.
Hi. Can I make a point over here, if that's okay with you guys? Hi, this is Abhinav from Share India, and I completely understand where Suchita is coming from. In fact, I've read the book she has written, and so I represent Share India here. So we have been a proprietary trader for a very long time, and we understand the risk associated with the entire difference between the two universes that is existent. So from a company standard point of view and from a personal point of view, I'd just like to add, from a regulatory perspective, it's only important to have a very clear-cut demarcation that what is available at what price. So retail should be able to access what an institutional investor is able to access, and the definition of that access should be very clear and very transparently available with an exchange or the broker itself. So the only regulation that you need to have there is what is the price that you're paying. In our parlance, when we discuss about co-location servers and normal lease line, it's just like traveling through an aircraft and traveling through a train. So that is the difference that the co-location servers will have. So one individual.
Abhinav, can I just intervene here to ask you to clarify for me? See, sure. What you're saying is exactly the thing that I was asking. But the difference is just this, that you remember some time ago, there was this whole debate because people didn't understand why there were sudden fluctuations in prices. Until finally someone came out and said, hey, institutional guys get much more granular data and they are executing probably millions of trades by the time you're getting your next price update for retail algos. So my question was that if you all are both being powered by technology, retail as well as institutions, and by an algorithm, then isn't it unfair to retail? None of you seem to be addressing the fact that isn't it unfair?
Let me try.
I'll just make a point what Suchita said. Okay. So Suchita, what you are referring to was something abnormal instances happening, I think a quarter back exchange happened in the options data. So I would just like to reiterate, the fresh trades that happened that time didn't happen because a broker had the granular data. The trigger point for those trade was not the granularity of the data, but the implementation of the execution logic. What we are actually trying to address here, that the execution logic wherein the trades should not happen the stop loss market. So if you look at the solution to what the exchange eventually did to stop those kind of trade, was not that the brokers were not given the granular data, it only stopped the stop loss market orders, which eventually mean that you should not exit at any loss.
Abhinav,
So
just
that
try to add on to hopefully see if we can convey to Sujata. Sujata, there are these high-speed traders who are trading on, say, a moving average, like what Vishal said. They may do it on a 1 minute, 60-second data, but Vishal and me and some others here will do that on a 3-day data or a 5-day data. So while we get the signal, it's okay if we execute 5-10 minutes upar niche. But for a high speed, because we are looking to make a return over 0.5%, 1%, and do it over like 200 trades in a year. But a high speed trader will like do 2 million trades, and like they are there in that speed game. So like Abhinav or some other traders. I hope that.
No, Vivek, sorry, Sujata, I'll try to reinforce the point. Sorry, I'm just trying to. API traders and institutional traders are two different breed. We are not threat to the retail trader. In fact, we are an extension of a retail trader. What do I mean by extension of a retail trader? Aaj ki tarikh mein, if a retail comes, okay, and he buys a stock, in fact, what happens is he's going to put an order, right? He will open up his browser terminal. He's going to put a buy order and it will go through. What an API trader does is the same thing. Through a mechanism of an API, we are opening up a kind of a system for us. We are also putting our system. Okay, we may get a fraction of seconds better, but now what we are doing is, okay, we are actually extending the full community of retail traders, as we know, is saying, okay, we cannot manage our emotions. If we buy something and it goes down, we just sit like a sitting duck. Whereas in an API, there are a complete set of rules. What has happened, and I can prove you with the data, that many of our clients who were discretionary trader or a retail trader were a loss-making traders. And after using the API, their consistency in their return, consistency in their profit has actually gone up. And they are a retail trader. Mind you, they are not institutional trader. They are retail trader like me who has a 5 lakh account or a 10 lakh account. We are just using a technology to come at a better place as an institutional who had the advantage earlier, which we are now getting it through an API.
Vishal, can I jet in for one moment? Shubhodaya.
Sure, Dada.
I guess I'm getting the question what Sujata has been asking for the last 10-15 minutes, and I can answer it. Yeah, sure. I'm Shubhadeep Nandi. I'm a founder of Quantum Solutions. I'm probably the only guy out here who doesn't have an algo in the markets. I do trade my own algos. And way back in 2008-9, I was one of the first people to run an algo on MCX and MCXSX. And we went through the whole exchange mechanism, fixed connectivity, and etc. At that point of time, there was no connection to retail to algos. So I will answer your question, what you're getting. Number one, institutions and retail, you say, are two separate universes. That's absolutely correct. And they are playing in two totally different fields. It's not the same field. An institution might be playing on a volatility arbitrage or an arbitrage between option prices and futures, near month, far month arbitrage and stuff. They are not taking naked trades where they are taking a risk onto their books. They are trying to exploit the inefficiencies in pricing for which they are doing high frequency trading. That is why their servers are co-located. A retail, on the other hand, when he is trading even intraday into options, he is actually taking a view. In majority of the algos which you see over the platforms are basically option selling. The logic is you sell at certain time, put a stop loss, wait for a few hours, then you get money. So retail and institution are in separate spaces because they are focused on the markets. The particular places they are trying to take an advantage of are hell different. I guess I've answered your question.
Excellent. Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect.
So retail and institutions do not need the same bandwidth or the same colloc. Because as they are saying moving average, an institution will not be using a moving average. if there's a server co-located at the exchange, it is not even running on Windows. It is running on Linux with the bare minimum order capturing technology and matching orders between different spread books and stuff. Retail is not doing that. Retail is light years
One
away
of the
from that.
network card they use is a 1 crore,
Correct,
1 crore
correct.
80 lakh card, which
Epic
is just
card.
going to give them. I mean, retail can not
Yeah,
even have capital of that.
Distribution is a totally different ballgame, and here we are talking about retail. And I believe this will explain it in a much more way. When a retail is using an algo, he is not trying to do high frequency trading. He is trying to automate that trading, which he use some logic to do manually. But whenever he does manually, the old fear and greed comes into the picture. He's trying to automate his process of order execution by not remaining in the picture himself as a human being. This is the basic difference between an institution and a retail. So they do not need same playing fields. The cost differential is also absolutely high. That's all.
Excellent. So thanks so much. So will we come back to, your views on SEBI's paper and,
Sure. Let the rest of the people speak.
okay, what everyone agrees, or who wants to go next?
Okay, maybe I'll hijack your second point and then I'll open it up. All API is an auto trading or it has to be manually trading. So if you ask me honestly, and being in the market for a while, Suchita, 90% of the people who are using APIs are using for trading, auto trading. There is 10% which is using for, say, like, putting an order manually. Simple point.
Thank you. So if I may be allowed, I would just like to extend, the notes that Vishal started.
Yeah.
What
So
precisely-
introduce yourself. I don't know whether all of you know each other, and do we need
we are a small
We all know
I
you.
would like,
So we
I
should
would
all
like
introduce
to-
So by the way, Suchita, we have a WhatsApp group of algo leaders. I mean, I created that sometimes back. Even though, we all are technologists. We all know very well, actually. I know Vishal since 7 or 8 years. I'm Saurabh Lohia. So I've been into algos since 2007. This is AlgoG is my second company. We've been offering retail algo trading services since 2018. We have off-the-shelf products, so I've been interacting with a lot of retail traders. If I could, thank you. I have, So if you could please allow me the ability to share screen, I would just like to extend on what Vishal has proposed. Vishal has, hit the head of nail, because what Vishal is proposing is, approvals can be taken in the existing regulatory framework. So it is easy. SEBI, it's not that they have to change a lot of things. Within the existing regulatory frameworks, a lot of things can be accommodated. So the first thing is what we all are happy, and what we are looking forward, that SEBI has acknowledged, that retail people should be allowed to do algo trading. That is the first and very good point, actually, because it is beneficial to people. I'm a service provider. People need that, and SEBI is regulating in a sense. So SEBI is acknowledging, let us define a way how people can be provided these services. Now, here are some threats. Vishal has already covered. The first is like advisory mis-selling, right? I've also, noted down, they've already been, these threats have already been mentioned by people in public. Like Nitin, he mentioned the first threat can be very easily addressed by RA registration. So, people who are giving studies, they can simply register as a advisor. It's not a big deal. The approval process is quick, and it's not expensive either. Vishal knows very well. And the second point is about market manipulation. Now, this is little serious, and it is more complicated than institutional trading, because in institutional trading, there is one account through which trades are originating. Here, what can happen is through 1,000 different accounts across, say, 100 different brokers, trades can originate. So it is very easy to do all sort of manipulations. This is another threat. Nitin mentioned it. Then brokerage commission. Some people, they'll provide trading services just for generating brokerage, which is not good. In derivatives, especially, this can happen very easily. Then client data compromise. Now, client's financial data is not supposed to be shared in the open. Right now, what's happening is, like any app developer, they can put an app, they can put it for free. People will try it, and innocently, people share everything with that app. I mean, when they log in through that app, their margin, their trading style, what sort of orders they are using, everything is open. How much money they are making, on what trades they are making money, on what trades they are losing money, everything is open. So that is a very serious concern. Then pseudo portfolio managers, Vishal mentioned that, Nitin also addressed that. Okay. And then at this point, I was discussing with another friend of mine, Kapil. He's a NSE authorized data vendor. So data is not supposed to be, like freely distributed, which has started happening. Okay. This is another point. So I'll just briefly, there are so many people, I'll briefly conclude. So there are three approval frameworks already in place: algo approvals, IBT approvals, and as advisors. Both algo approval IBT approval is way easy. I mean, almost every broker gets it done. Okay, so for strategies like moving average, MACD, there are already platforms already in India which are IBT approved, which allow trading through this. Okay, then algo approval. Vishal is very well known. I mean, I believe you may all. I mean, I don't think I have to speak on that. So these threats, most of these threats simply can be addressed when there is an approval process, which we all are agree in some way. And there's just one thread about data. So like algo providers, they can have a disclosure like investment advisors. Like advisors, they disclose that the recommendations they are giving, whether they have a position in the same stock or not. So similarly, algo providers can make a disclosure, so that will be solved as well.
So you're saying that this threat 4 is something that should be added to the SEBI rules?
It's not that. See, yeah, SEBI rules, actually it's already there. When you take a approval, it's a part of approval. There's an undertaking. It's already a part of approval actually.
But then proprietary trading positions can be taken even afterwards. No, once you get your approval, you can then go ahead and.
But at least a disclosure should be there. Like for example, I am an analyst. I'm giving a recommendation to buy SBI, and what I do is I take myself, positions in SBI before I'm giving a recommendation to public. At least I should disclose it. So there should be some process in place.
Suchita, if I may, I have a point from the retail client's perspective. Just one point to place. My name is Himani, and I'm from Share India Securities. So basically, when the strategist has to actually put his strategy on the broker server, so not all strategists are going to trust all brokers. So this reduces the universe for the retail client basically. So this retail might have to subscribe to more brokers or more platforms, to get better of all the strategists or the strategies that are there available in the market. So, every strategist, if he has to get his strategy approved through all the brokers, then it reduces the universe for the retail. So retail is not going to get associated with Motilal, then Share India or Anand Rathi, because at one broker platform, if Vivek is there, his strategies are there, I want to subscribe him. And at one platform, Vishal's strategies are there, because these people are not going to disclose, or they're not going to put their strategies, on every broker server. They will go only with those who they trust. So that will reduce the universe for the retail client, I believe.
No, it's an interesting point, but I'm not sure that I agree with you because, every individual we are talking about, we are worried about individuals. We're not worried about institutions. How many people will an individual want to subscribe to? Not more than 3 or 4, right? And if he wants like dozens of them, then he is really trading very dangerously, isn't it?
Not dozens, even if he has to go for 3 or 4, because every individual might subscribe to multiple strategies, right? So some strategies I
want to know from you that what is your experience? An individual has what, dozens of strategies? Do they subscribe? Or I would have thought it would not be more than 2 or 3.
No, it could be that, some strategies,
right?
Yeah, could be, but this does reduce the universe for the retail. For example, if I want some strategies and options, some strategies in cash market, and not all the strategists are offering that on one platform, or it gets difficult for the strategist, to offer on multiple platforms, and it does reduce the universe for the client, right?
I agree, except that it's a choice that we make. It's like credit cards, right? Some of them give you some benefits.
Some services,
We choose. We don't go and
Yeah.
take every credit card just because it's there. One has to choose, right?
Yeah, but I do feel that if there are multiple strategies, or to switch on to, stop one strategy and switch on to other strategy also, you
Let's
might
ask the group how many agree with this, or is it such a critical factor is what I want to know. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just wondering how critical is this factor?
even I'm not sure how critical
Hi,
it is, but
Sucheta.
it's just a point from the retail perspective.
Hi, this is Tejas Kode, and I represent Fires. We're a broker that provides APIs to many of the algo traders, DIY algo traders, and many of the platforms, almost all the platforms that are present on this forum. And to the point that Hemani was making, like you said, it's a matter of preference because not all APIs are created equal. And so, yeah, it's about the facilities available and who the strategy provider or the traders want to be dealing with. Yeah, so that's my feedback on that. Apart from that, coming to the risk management aspect of what was discussed here, nothing changes from the broker's stack. The stack is essentially the same. So API essentially allows the customer to place trades not from the interface that we provide, but through either a third-party platform or through a strategy provider. Nothing changes in terms of risk management and order management. It's essentially it's the exact same thing. In fact, it is a more controlled environment, and misfiring and such things are actually already taken care of because brokers' platforms are audited and it's very regulated in that sense. So yeah, I mean, nothing changes from the broker's end when it comes to API trading. It's just its orders are being executed through a different interface.
I'm not so confident as you here. I mean, from 2020, we have seen 26 broker defaults on the NSE. So if they were that regulated and the exchanges and the regulator were doing a great job, you wouldn't have a whole broker itself defaulting. And this is an area which, very few people understand. Even I don't think half of SEBI, from what I know, all of you who have had conversations with SEBI, they did not even know where to start, what to look at, how to get a fix on this. So,
So actually, sorry to interrupt on this. So what I'm trying to say is, so let's say a broker offers an Omnisys platform, the Thomson Reuters Refinitiv platform. Now that platform is already tried and tested on the exchange, right? So nothing changes just because the order is being executed through an API. It's essentially the same RMS and OMS stack. So it's not like they can do HFT trading through that, or it's not like some major misfiring can happen through that. So those checks are already in place. It's equivalent to trading from the app itself, like the regular retail trading app, barring a few more flexible features over and above that, which are offered through the API. But that's about it. From a risk management standpoint, there's not much has changed. And in fact, it helps the customers manage their risk better.
Sucheta, one second, Umesh, 1 second, sorry. So what you mentioned about 39 brokers going default was maybe due to their negligence of their own systems, not the tech part of it. So tech part is already been taken care of.
Yeah. So that I should have mentioned that. So defaults could have happened because of other risk management failures. But I'm saying on the tech side,
I know, I don't want to go too much into this, but I was making a small point that depending on the exchange for taking care of regulation, because you said they are heavily regulated, I'm saying that, sometimes one would be naive to think that the exchange is doing the job that it should when it may not be doing it, or it may not have understood. That's the limited point that I was making, not trying to contradict you over here.
I'm Umesh Ranglani, CEO of TradeTron. We have a lot of retail traders within our platform who are finding multiple algos. around 70% of the algos belong to themselves, the logic of it. And 30% of it is somebody else's logic being fired in their own account, based on an arrangement between the buyer and the seller of the algo. So I have pretty deep insight into, what this algo universe is and what the APIs do and all of that. I want to make a point on these two aspects of the practicality of adding an algo ID to a particular API order and then approving the algo itself. So it takes all of, let's say, 5 minutes to get an algo ready on Tradetron. Okay. It could take, 1 hour if one was to write a code in Python. There are 500 such endpoints from which an order can be fired using an API. Okay. So if means the impracticality of asking an algo to be approved is just astounding to me. Means they have literally not thought this through before putting it down on the paper that, this is what we should do. Means just, let's say there is a framework and a set of algo which needs to go to the exchange and the exchange actually approves it. There is no way to find out whether that algo was changed later before an order was fired. Let's say I have got one algo approved and I got an ID XYZ. Okay. I can use that order ID across 500 algos, which I have not approved. And there is literally no fingerprint which says that this algo emerged from XYZ algo. So that basically it is a law which cannot be enforced. And hence, over the last 3 years that this law already exists, it has not been followed. So they have literally done nothing in this new paper than to write what already was happening and disregard it. The API framework is itself extremely robust. And hence, it's like saying that if I have a license to run a restaurant, now I need a license for each recipe. If I have been given the right to use the API and perform algo trades, it makes no sense to then say that, the final logic of it needs to get approved from the exchange.
But what you're saying is very different from what some of the others have said over here. And I think the people who discussed or who SEBI had discussions with before they framed it, many of them recommended that the algos should pass through an approval process.
So they do not understand
who are deferring.
No, I'll just like to add up.
What?
Sorry, Sucheta, to interrupt you. I just like to, I completely understand where Umesh is coming from. We as a broker understand. So what most of the participants are okay with to get regulated is the execution logic.
Let me just interrupt and ask that question again to both you and him. The point that I was making is that the suggestion that algos should be approved have come from algo writers, right? So I'm asking that we are about 27 people here. How many agree with you, or is the broker perspective different from the perspective of algo writers? I'm just trying to get a larger picture over here.
No, so what Umesh is saying, Sucheta, is absolutely right. So getting every small little thing approved by the exchange each time something needs to be, because algo strategies are not fixed, right? They're not set in stone. They need to be tweaked as with the changes in the markets and so on. So imagine like thousands of them having that, getting that regulated through the broker and with the limited bandwidth that the exchange has. And also, like he said, there's no mechanism with which they can actually track if the approved algo is performing as it should. That's the point he's making, and I totally agree with him on that.
Yeah, I think
also, from a broker perspective, it's completely okay what Umesh is saying, and that's completely okay. And from an algo writer perspective, also that is completely okay. Is our given understanding.
We are on the same page.
What most of us are asking to regulate or approve is the execution logic and not the trading logic. And as far as the execution logic is concerned, there's already a process to get it approved, which is currently being done by most of the algo players in India as well.
So just like to add on to what Umesh was saying about the restaurant thing, like if I take a ticket for the Worli Bandra Sea Link and I pay the toll, whether I go on a 800 or a Jaguar, I mean, technically nobody checks, right? As long as I'm paying the toll. So once the API, open API, I may do a trend following, a mean reversion, or even a are what an institute forward does, but I do it on a higher time frame. So I don't need that high speed. And as an individual, I should be regulated only from the risk management. If I'm breaking my risk limit, I'm losing more than I'm supposed to. Broker should cut my position or ask me to bring more margin, and that will bring me discipline into me as a trader. So we are on the same page in that.
So there are two parts to this.
Just one point.
Sucheta.
Just
Okay,
one
go
point
ahead,
with
yes.
regards to the approval process that Abhinav mentioned. Abhinav, so you're basically referring to the mock session that happens on exchange, right? Right.
Correct. Most of it. Mock
Yeah,
sessions
so-
plus when you trade in co-location servers, so you have to get your algo trades pre-approved.
Right. So that the mock sessions essentially happen 1 week on one Saturday per month.
Yeah.
Right. So now imagine having thousands of them getting their algo strategies approved, and they just 1 day per month is assigned, and very limited hours. So isn't it like super impractical?
Tejas, I just Tejas, I think why this happened is because nowhere in the world do they do this mock approval. Recently, I heard on one of the Murat days, one of the vendor algos misfired. Let me not name the vendor. And that is why exchange is wanting to get this mock thing approved. But technically, it is not required world over in any exchange. That's the background.
Sucheta, there are two parts to this conversation. One is the strategy approval, and then there is an execution approval. What Umesh and everybody are on in same page is don't make us do a strategy approval. Get us do our execution approval. Why? Because that's where the exchange is worried about the RMS and OMS. What Tejas, Umesh, and everybody is talking, and Vivek, everybody in this call is talking about, like I'm using a moving average crossovers 50 and 200. Tomorrow, if there is a change in 52 and 250, I'm not going to go to the exchange and going to get asked for the permission. So strategy approval has to be completely out of the purview of the thing. Is my understanding correct?
Yeah. Absolutely. This was regarding the algo approval. Like so impractical that it won't be followed even if they come up with a regulation. Means that's my take on it. The second,
that is not a static actually. That is not a static which is there with the lifelong. It is a,
can you introduce
daily and it is constantly updating that.
Imam, can you introduce yourself? Sorry, can you just?
Yeah, my name is Hasmukh Prajapati, and I am from AlgoFox. We represent AlgoFox, and some of the point I just want to make over here is the entire funda of SEBI over here is to save the retail guys, right? So likewise, as for me, like nowadays what happened, like everybody gets the API. So there should be minimum criteria for to get an API for the retail people. So let's say right now, Alice Blue is giving 10,000 rupees guy also API. So they are not actually falling into the consideration that they can do that 10,000 rupees. So minimum amount should be there. The retail entry level for the algo traders, right? Second one is like risk management acknowledgement, which needs to be taken by the broker, because broker gives the APIs to the client. So the broker has to take the consideration and acknowledgement for the client that he's understanding the risk is involved in this automated trading, right?
So, Mr. Prajapati, just to interrupt here, may I just request, whoever else speaks, that we've got a framework in front of us, right?
Yeah.
So won't it be much better if we say, okay, this is a point which should be changed in this manner? That would possibly
be. I'm having only 4 points.
Yeah.
I'm having only 4 points to be taken into consideration. So the overall fundamental is like somebody has taken the complaint that this party has lose my money, this party has lose my money, this party has lose my money. So that fellow is also understanding the risk. If he is understanding risk, then only he can play the trades. See, money can be lose on manual as well as the algo, both sides. So he has to acknowledge the risk involved in that. So whomsoever is a broker, they has to take the acknowledgement from the client that this is having a risk, okay? And the minimum amount to be have in account to take the API based trade. This is the first thing which needs to be taken care by. Let's say PMS is having 50 lakh worth of the net worth. So similar manner, if the retail algos are there, let's say 50,000, but less than 50,000 amount should not be have the API trades, right? So this is how like some some of the advisory based firms, they manipulate those greed on them, and they just lose them. They make market dirty. So we have to make stop. We have to take acknowledgement from the retail client as well that this is a risk disclosure document in order to get the APIs approved, and that API has to be manually approved by the broker after the signing of the scenarios from the client itself, right? And the like fires before that, the fires are manually approving every day. Alliance Blue is by default they are giving to anybody. If person is having only 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 rupees, they also get the APIs. So minimum criteria should be there to use the API algos, right? And yeah, so order execution, as the Umesh has said, like rightly said, that that cannot be tracked. So whatever the things cannot be tracked, then there is no sense to have the like law on that part, because anytime somebody get changed like 5 to 20 or 50 to 200, so that can be immediately changeable, so that cannot be tracked, right?
See, two things need to be repealed literally from the paper. One is the approval of every algo, and the second is adding an ID into each API call. It is extremely redundant because each order to the exchange is already unique, already mapped to and a user account. That API call has been initiated by the user after absolute strong authentication, which is a two-factor authentication, and a daily token generation, means that is already in place. I am firing my order in my own account from any of the 500 ways which are possible. Adding another identifier to that same order makes no sense whatsoever. And so when we are repealing these two things, it begs the question, where should then the regulation lie? It should lie on the people, the strategy creator and the strategy user. The algo, the person who's creating an algo for himself and firing trades in his own account, what regulation will he need? You are protecting himself from himself. What sense does that make? I want to fire bad trades in my own account. Should I or should I not have the right to fire it? I should. If somebody differs from that, I want to protect somebody from himself, it's a different matter altogether. But if we are all playing adult games here, and he should have a right to fire bad algos in his own account, then that should come outside the purview of any of these regulations. If the regulations are referring to the algo creators and the algo buyers, certainly they can be regulated. The algo creators already can come within the umbrella of a RA or a RIA, which as it is overlapping. We don't need like a third umbrella under which algo traders, algo creators need to go and sit under. They can all sit under the same umbrella that I am providing research analyst services or research investment advisory services. So that problem is already solved. No new regulation required. And like Prajapati pointed out, we need to get to see that this particular person who's a consumer of algos knows what he's doing. He is aware of the risks. Whether I am an AIF investor or a mutual fund investor or a exotic algo investor, the risk is always going to be there if it's the markets where the money is going to. So as long as I'm aware of the risk, I'm signing some documents, which are also just paperwork actually, means it doesn't mean shit. But if that is covered, that's all there is to cover. That is literally all there is to cover. Nothing else is required, in my opinion.
Yeah, and as far as the strategy approval is concerned, there must be some minimum amount is there to be someone's account. Let's say for 5 lakh or 10 lakh rupees, what is the logic to get the strategy approved? He cannot do anything. He cannot move Nifty 10 points by his strategy because he's having only 5 lakh, 10 lakh, 50 lakh rupees. He cannot do anything with that strategy in his account. How many of you agree with this, Vivek?
No,
So there is no logic to
Hasmukh, I think so.
Yeah.
That is not the point we were trying to draw.
Yeah.
The drawing of the point was, if I have understood correctly, and Suchita, correct me if I'm wrong. What worry that you mentioned about, we are not thinking. Let's talk about from your perspective as well. We were not thinking about retail traders and API traders. We tried to answer that first question. Secondly, I wanted to understand from your perspective and what is your reading of the paper, because I have already put it out the way the framework has been put out. If we are going to put out certain tweaks in the amendment, like 6.1, I don't know, I've just put it on the chat as well. Just getting, can I share my screen for a second? Maybe. Okay, I'm allowed to share the screen. Yes. So I just want to show you something. Like, I'm just going to continue with this framework. So basically, if I say, okay, get the execution algo approved, and if I go back to the PDF document, okay, what does it say? All orders emitting from the API should be treated as an algo order, can be subject to control by the stockbroker. Now, if execution is approved by the exchange, it is emitting from the broker's terminal. So that has been answered. Then stockbroker needs to take an approval of the algo from the exchange, and each algo strategy, whether used by broker or client, has to be approved by the exchange. If we get an execution algo approved, we do not need to kind of share our strategies to the broker, which may front run us, which can go against us and can do a lot of shady stuff as well. I'm not saying all the brokers are bad, but there are certain bad brokers, as you rightly mentioned, right?
Yeah, Vishal, just a small point here. I put it on the chat also. That the current regulatory framework, I don't think it makes a distinction between approval of execution versus approval of strategy logic. So what it makes a distinction is approval of algo versus approval of an entire platform. So if the strategy is continuously changing, as Umesh mentioned, the entire platform would need to be approved. I mean, we have a IBT approval in process for that.
Okay. No,
so basically, Vishal, approving the platform by itself, and then the changes within the platforms will be approved by default, right? So strategies within that can be changed. So rather than getting it approved as an execution algo, going for an IBT approval makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
And with regards to identifying orders, right? API orders are already identified. Each unique exchange, unique order ID is already present, right? And let's say if a client places an order through the app, right? Then it is already identified as it that order comes from the app and so on. So if you place an order from an API, that is also recognized.
And order is already recognized. If I place order from the API,
right, that already exists. So no changes are required.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Okay, you have any other points, Vishal, that you want to make?
No, I think so. Everybody's coming to the same point. So thanks, Surchada, for hearing us out.
Thank
Hi
you
guys,
so much.
I'm
Dharmik, sir, first of all, I want to
Thanks,
thank you,
Dharmik.
Dharmik. Without Dharmik, this
yeah,
would not have been possible.
Yeah, we
I have a
would
point.
have to.
We forgot to thank the main guy.
Yes,
No, I have a
He's
point to
driving.
discuss.
He's driving.
I think you have a point to make. And also, I wanted to ask all of you, should I put this out, the discussion in the public domain? It'll get SEBI to look at it and hear your viewpoints. I'm sure they will.
Please.
Or do you want to
Yes, yes, ma'am.
close?
Yeah,
Sure,
happy to.
sure.
Yeah,
Fine,
we-
sir?
Happy to. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes. That will be the great help actually. Yeah.
Okay.
We also want that the industry grows and retail people also get benefited of this technological advancements. Yeah.
We are all retail. Yeah, we are all.
Yeah.
तो मैम बेसिक पॉइंट ये है कि स्ट्रैटेजी अप्रूवल इसने जो बोला है ना, हमने जो सेबी के पास पॉइंट रखा था वो ये बोला था कि पीछे एकदम से कुछ अलग से चेंज नहीं हो जाना चाहिए, पेनी स्टॉक्स मैनिपुलेशन कर रहा है ऐसा कुछ नहीं होना चाहिए। तो उसके अंदर हमने सजेशन में ये बताया था कि आप उसको स्क्रिप्ट लिमिटेड कर दो, आप जो कोई भी स्क्रिप्ट में आप ट्रेड करने दे रहे हो एपीआई के थ्रू आप आईबीटी अप्रूवल दे दो, तो वो प्लेटफॉर्म अप्रूव हो गया। उसके बाद उसको निफ्टी 50 या निफ्टी 100 में और इंडाइसेस में ऐसा कुछ रिस्ट्रिक्ट कर दो कि आप उसके अलावा जो जिसमें ऑलरेडी बहुत ज्यादा वॉल्यूम है सिर्फ उसमें ही ट्रेड कर सकता है, जो कि एक्सचेंज अभी पेनी स्टॉक्स के लिए सबको बोल रहा है कि तुम टीओटीपी से ऑथोराइज करो, सीडीएसए से ऑथोराइज करो। तो अल्गो ट्रेडिंग में भी वो सेम चीज लाना चाहिए कि उसके लिए जो टॉप कुछ स्क्रिप्ट्स है, कुड बी 50 100 या जो भी है, उसमें खाली अल्गो अलाउड करो, तो फिर मैनिपुलेशन के भी चांसेस बहुत कम हो जाएंगे। इवन दो देयर आर 1000 सब्सक्राइबर्स टू इट, बैंक निफ्टी अभी 1000 लॉट लोग मिलके भी अगर एक लॉट मारेंगे या दो लॉट मारेंगे तो 2000 लॉट तो एक झटके में कोई एक एचएनआई ट्रेड कर देता है, तो इट डजंट मैनिपुलेट द मार्केट। तो और स्ट्रेटेजी अप्रूवल रियली डिफिकल्ट है। एक एक स्ट्रेटेजी के लिए अप्रूवल लेने जाएंगे ना, हमने स्ट्रेटेजी अप्रूवल में सिर्फ उसको इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स अप्रूवल का बोला था कि आप इंस्ट्रूमेंट अप्रूवल दा दो या कुछ बेसिक चीजें रखो। दे हैव सेड द लॉजिक एंड एवरीथिंग शुड बी अप्रूव्ड, व्हिच इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट इन दिस केस। जैसे ट्रेट्रॉन में अभी बहुत सारे होंगे, हम लोग तो प्रोवाइड नहीं करते, काफी सारे ऐसे स्ट्रेटेजी प्रोवाइडर्स है। अब प्लेटफॉर्म को वो सब स्ट्रेटेजी प्रोवाइडर का अप्रूवल लेने का बहुत ज्यादा हेडेक भी हो जाएगा, जो सेबी या एक्सचेंज शायद कर भी नहीं पाएगा।
So,
बेटर है कि उसमें या तो
Dharmik, that is why we can take the approval of the entire platform as IBT. Like
Correct,
IBT
हाँ,
approval,
IBT
होता है.
का
All brokers take IBT approval already. I think Abhinav and Tejas can give their inputs.
करेक्ट,
So
हाँ,
on the platforms where the strategies are continuously changing, है ना, या strategy disclose नहीं करना, the platform itself can be approved.
करेक्ट। और मैम जैसे कि एक मेन क्वेश्चन है जो सेबी ने और सब ब्रोकर्स भी उठा रहे हैं कि अगर कोई ऑर्डर आता है तो वो ऑर्डर एपीआई के थ्रू आया तो वो अल्गो है, उसका क्या गारंटी है? दे आर सेइंग कि इट कुड बी, मतलब इट कुड बी सम अदर प्लेटफॉर्म आल्सो जो उन्होंने खुद बनाया। तो उसके लिए हम ये कर सकते हैं कि हम इंडिविजुअल को जिसको जैसे ऑर्डर करना है तुम करो, अगर सर्विस प्रोवाइडर है तो ही उसके लिए ही अप्रूवल लाएंगे। तो आईबीटी अप्रूवल आ गया तो ऑलरेडी अप्रूवल हो जाएगा, क्योंकि इंडिविजुअल में तो हम लोग भी चार्ट देख के हम कुछ ट्रेड कर ही सकते हैं, उसमें हमें अप्रूवल नहीं चाहिए। रिसर्च एनालिस्ट वही चार्ट देख के अगर वो किसी को रेकमेंड कर रहा है तो वहां पे अप्रूवल आता है। इसमें इंडिविजुअल को अप्रूवल की जरूरत नहीं होनी चाहिए आई गेस,
Okay.
और स्ट्रेटेजी बेसिस पे नहीं होनी चाहिए। आई मीन आईबीटी आप कर दो वो सही है। यूनिक आईडी उनका ऑलरेडी एक टोकन जनरेट होता है, वो टोकन अभी तो सारे ऑर्डर नंबर और सब सेम है। अगर उनको चाहिए कि एपीआई के ऑर्डर्स का अलग से वो आए तो वो उसका जो टोकन का जो फॉर्मेट है दैट दे कैन चेंज।
Even for the strategy approval part also, if somebody is HNI in nature, like 1 crore plus account है तो उसका strategy approve कराने का है तो that is a logical thing.
सर वो होगा नहीं हेमंत जी, वो कितने आप वो बायस भी हो जाएगा और इट विल बी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड अगेन।
accredited investor का concept का भी एक पेपर आया था, I think proposed. SEBI is also proposing it like US. अगर वो नेटवर्थ ही उसका 10, 15, 20 करोड़ के ऊपर या जो है तो फिर उसको रिस्क उसको क्या,
फिर वो रिटेल नहीं हुआ ना विवेक,
रिटेल नहीं हुआ तो is okay.
So we already have the concept of qualified institutional buyers that is there.
Suchita, just one thing to add, in the RIA and the IA also, I think if I'm not mistaken, putting a view on the index is exempt. Like anyone can make a view on the index without needing a RIA or IA. मतलब काफी generic, if I'm not mistaken, but I can just, others can comment or add.
नहीं बट विवेक आपको लगता है कि वो पॉसिबल है और ऐसा करेंगे? फिर वो बोलेंगे मैं इंडाइसेस में ही काम देता हूँ।
Let's be practical on the stuff that we can achieve in the current framework that they have kind of proposed, because otherwise we will have a whole lot different battles to fight.
That's the whole point.
Welcome, relief, whatever you can do for us, we will. You are our API to the exchange, actually, and the regulator. So you are the bridge, Sucheta.
Great. So thank you so much. This has been very enlightening for me, and thanks for coming here and participating. Right? Let's hope something good comes out of it.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Right.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your time.
Thanks.
Thanks for giving us the time, Sucheta. Thank you.